Hey, Coach. So glad you found the video. Couple things. First of all, make sure you subscribe and like. Second thing, go over and check out teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better. Let me show you how to put a roadmap and become a nationally ranked coach. I've done it for 30 plus years. Let me help you do that over at teachhoops.com. Let's head off to the video.
All right, welcome to the Basketball Leadership Podcast. End of July, Coach. We do tape these not in July, but it's the end of July. We're still, if you could see Coach and I right now, we're probably both on a boat somewhere.
I would be on a boat right now, absolutely.
I'd be on a boat somewhere. All right, so today we're going to talk about the 3 secrets of resilient people. How did you come up with this topic?
This is a great TED Talk, and I would encourage anyone watching this. I'll try to put it in the links too. But this was a TED Talk by Laura Howe, and it's on resilience, and it's really interesting. It was intriguing because she was someone who talked about resilience. I think she was a psychologist, and she talked about this a lot. It was part of her life, but then she had to live it. She lost a child suddenly at a young age, and she basically had to live out everything that she had been talking to other people about. And she
Wow.
learned a lot from that experience and really spoke about it. And she really narrowed it down and simplified it. And I love it when people simplify things, because I think that's the art of teaching, coaching, simplify the complex. Um, and she talked about the 3 keys of resilient people. And number 1 is just this acceptance that life happens. I think all too often people feel like if I put myself in a box, nothing bad will happen to me. And then when it does, they don't always know how to deal with it. But if you accept the fact, it's like I talk about this with coaching and parents, is like accept the struggle of youth sports, accept the struggle. It's all part of it. But number 1 is that acceptance that life happens, and
Yeah.
it can happen to all of us.
I missed the game this year. First time in 30 years I've ever missed a game. My dad was sick. Like it's
Yeah.
life happens. Like it
Yeah.
just like everyone, no one questioned me missing that game. No
Yeah.
one. My
No.
parents, no one met. It's because they knew. It's like that's what's important for
Yeah.
me to be here and to support my mom and him. And yeah. So anyway, it's like that's yeah. It's
And you have to like accept that that's going to happen
right.
to be able to go to the next step and be
Yeah.
resilient,
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and then number 2, she talked about where resilient people place their attention. Okay, so what that means is resilient people focus only on what they can control. And so life happens, things happen, and the people that are not resilient and struggle are focusing on all these things that are outside of their control. It's woe is me, why, or they start pointing the fingers or they blame, and it builds this stress and anxiety, and it just overwhelms them. Where the most resilient people shift their whole focus into things that they can control. And I think it's no different than how we talk about this with sports in our game of
Right.
basketball, right? Um, on a much different level than losing a child or something like that. But in a game, accept struggles are going to happen. How are you going to deal with it? We're going to focus on what we can control. We're not going to point the finger. We're not going to blame. We're not going to hang our head. So it's why sports are a microcosm of life. Is
It
we are
is.
teaching kids how to be resilient in a safe space.
Right. I mean, I tell my parents I'm going to do 2 things. I'm going to try to make a better human being. And I'm going to try to make a better basketball player. That is my goal. I'm not putting one, but that's what I want to do, and part of that is resiliency about when things happen. Because things happen all the time. Like it's yeah. If you do this long enough, just about everything is going to happen at some
Yeah, absolutely. And
point.
and the third thing she said, and these are all simple, but I think if what I love about it is it's a simple 3-step process. But the third one is the question that resilient people ask themselves. And that question is what I'm doing right now hurting me or helping me? Like being very reflective of that. And let's just let's just relate it to a basketball game. Let's say you make a mistake in a game and you immediately pout and hang your head. If you can get to this point to ask yourself this question instantaneously, is this hurting me or helping me? That allows you to overcome it and move on. But if you can't ask yourself that question, you end up,
Right.
pouting and waiting, and it hurts yourself, hurts the team. And so these three simple questions are: number one, accept that life happens. Number two, make sure that we focus our attention on what we can control. And number three, ask yourself the question, is my response right now helping me or hurting me? Now she goes in a lot more depth on this TED Talk, and she talks about it on, with the death of her child, and she asks questions that are really deep and good. But when we simplify it, I think it's a really healthy approach to talk about resilience with kids.
Right. And things happen. Like you were talking about one of your players that tore their ACL. Talk about, like, I mean, I had, the resilience our team had to go through this year. It's
Yeah.
like injury is just one example.
Oh,
I've had parents
death in the
die during the
family.
season.
Yeah.
I've had, things, like all these things that just occur. It's like, well, what does resilient look like? And, I tell kids, the one guarantee in life is things are going to change. That's the guarantee.
Yeah.
Change is inevitable.
Yep.
And how you deal with that resiliency is going to tell how this journey is going to happen for you.
Which,
yeah.
And you probably see this too, but as a principal, I can tell you, number one, it is the skill that is lacking more and more every year in kids, is the ability to be resilient. We don't have as much mental toughness as we used to have.
And I think COVID rippled them.
It did.
Ripple them. It rippled them. And
it rippled them. And then secondly, youth sports and sports in general is so important for kids because it's the ultimate lab setting for life. And it teaches, like we said, resilience on this, in this area that, they have guardrails.
Right. What are you gonna do when your furnace breaks and it's December and we're in and you can't get a hold of anybody? It's holiday. Like you got a problem solve. It's like it's all that problem solving, and that's part of what school should be. That's like, I tell my kids, you don't need to know the law of signs, to be honest with you.
No.
I'll explain it to you, but it's about problem solving. What are you gonna do? And part of that is that resiliency is like that reaction to it. I got hosed on I hope he's listening. I got hosed on a call this year and got a T. Probably did cost my team the game. But what am I gonna do? Life moves on. I gotta be resilient. I gotta own it. I gotta show it to the players. It's like that's I don't think adults are demonstrating that as much as they used to either, to be honest.
No, I agree. I think it's a societal issue right now. And COVID brought some of it to light without question. And I think COVID showed the importance of this social emotional and kind of just this part of education that we know is important, but we really didn't realize how important it is.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's very important. All right, till next week, Coach.
See ya.
Hey, Coach, so glad you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed it a lot. Actually, if you did, subscribe and like, and then go over and check out teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better.